The Daytona International Speedway, hallowed ground for stock car racers since 1959. Today, the massive 2.5-mile super speedway plays host to the Automobile Racing Club of America. 40 ARCA drivers set for the green flag as Speedweeks 2003 continues on the Speed Channel. Let's go trackside for the command to fire the engines. The tightest field in the 40-year history of this event is, in a word, diverse. For more, here's Matt Yoakum.
Well, thanks, Steve. Veteran Bobby Gerhart has 2 wins in his last 4 Daytona starts, but he's done something this speed week he's never done before. That's win the Daytona pole. A victory today will mark his 3rd here at the beach, tying an all-time ARCA Series record. Starting alongside is the young gun, 26-year-old Billy Venturini Jr., trying for his first series win, and what better way to see that victory come here at the beach. His best series finish, a 3rd on 2 separate occasions. He's never scored a top 5 finish here at Daytona. Now to Speedway Illustrated's Dick Berggren.
Thanks, Matty. Talk to the drivers who are in this race, and they all have one thing on their minds, that this is the finest field of ARCA cars ever assembled at Daytona. Perhaps the finest field of ARCA cars ever assembled anywhere. The importance of this event has intensified over time. This is an opportunity to compete in front of the Winston Cup car owners. This is an opportunity to win at Daytona as well. The result, a very tight field, a lot of cars with a chance to win, more than ever. To Steve Burns.
The first stock car race of Speedweeks 2003 is finally here. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Burns, along with Jeff Hammond. And Jeff, you've been making the annual pilgrimage to Daytona since, dare I say it, 1973.
That's exactly right, Steve. And I can't concur more with our illustrious Dr. Dick Berggren, because I believe this is the greatest field we've ever seen as far as ARCA cars coming to Daytona. And I'm so excited for the fact that, hey, this is the first race of the stock car season here at Daytona, and I'm really glad to be a part of it today. I mean, it's going to be a great race. We got a great bunch of competitors. I look for really a great race.
Well, we're excited, so you know the drivers and the teams are.
They most certainly are.
Well, the cars are underway. Now, Fox's coverage of Daytona Speedweeks begins tonight when the best drivers in America go bumper to bumper in prime time to see who will take the first checkered flag of the year in the Budweiser Shootout. Our 77 hours of Daytona Speedweeks leading up to the Daytona 500 continues tonight with the Budweiser Shootout at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox. And we'll be back with a starting lineup for the Advanced Discount Auto Parts 200. Speed Channel's coverage of the ARCA Advanced Discount Auto Parts 200 from the Daytona International Speedway is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, and by Gladiator Garage Works, a division of Whirlpool Corporation. Gladiator Garage Works, it's time to rethink the garage. Welcome back to the Daytona International Speedway. We're live on the Speed Channel. Steve Burns, Jeff Hammond, Dr. Dick Berggren, and Matt Yoakum. Let's take a look, Jeff, at today's starting lineup.
As we've been saying right now, this is one of the fastest fields they've had down here and one of the closest fields they've had down here in the history of ARCA.
Row 2, 2 drivers, Clements and Montgomery, not even 20 years old.
Got Keith Seegers, who won at Talladega last year, along with Jason Jarrett.
Christian Fittipaldi in a Petty Dodge has experience in kart Formula One. He's trying to get his stock car racing career underway today.
And we saw the ladies right there on row number 5 right there, Chrissy Passmore and Deborah Crenshaw. And I think those 2 girls are going to probably put a show on for us here today. What do you think?
See Shauna Robinson, Jeff, 3 female drivers in the top 13.
You were doing some research earlier about this is a pretty unique field. We've got the young, the old. I mean, we got the females represented. We got a very diverse field right here.
Just saw defending champ Frank Kimmel. Hey, Jeff, we have 5 drivers 20 years of age or younger and 5 drivers over the age of 50.
Now, that's pretty incredible right there. I think we've already got our first casualty of the day, number 34 car. He's not going to the back of the field for pitting too soon before they even started the race here.
This field is dominated by 19 Pontiacs, 9 Chevrolets, 9 Fords, 6 Dodges. Dr. Dick Berggren talked about the strength of the field, Jeff. from 1st to 34th, separated by just a second and a half.
Like I say, it's a very tight field, and I think we see a lot of really veteran drivers. Andy Hillenberg, you know, Shelby Howard all the way back there, didn't have a very good qualifying run, broke a transmission during qualifying, starting in the back of the pack. But hey, how about a guy like a veteran like Greg Sachs, who won this race here back in like 1985, I believe it was.
Won the Firecracker race in July in a R&D car. Let's go down right now to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Steve, four-time series champion Frank Kimmel hasn't had a good speed week. He lost an engine before qualifying, had a ball joint seize up, had a steering box problem they finally found last night. In fact, his brother and crew chief Bill Kimmel told me they've had so many problems they haven't had a chance to really work on the race car and try to find speed, but they do have a lot of confidence in their race car. They finished third with this piece last year, so hopefully they can break that jinx this afternoon. To Dick Berggren.
There aren't too many female stock car drivers, certainly very, very few in the biggest of leagues. We're fortunate this afternoon to have 3 of them here. Shauna Robinson, a good one in ARCA for sure. She has finished as high as 2nd here at Daytona. Chrissy Passmore, a youngster, a sprint car phenomenon at age 14. And Deborah Renshaw, coming back after a horrific crash at Charlotte Motor Speedway last October. In that accident, under caution, she ran into Eric Martin at very high speed. Martin tragically lost his life. Renshaw badly beaten up herself. She continues to this day to walk with a limp. Her car owner, Bob Shack, has shielded her from the media and from fans so she could focus on the race car. Moments ago, I talked with her, asked her how she was. Is she okay? She said, yes, she is. Renshaw ready to go back and race after that tragic Charlotte Motor Speedway accident.
Well, Steve, you and I had an opportunity today to sit down with Deborah before the start of this race right here, and I'll have to agree with everything that Dr. Dick is saying right now, because he has really, Bob Shack that is, he has really done a great job, I think, as far as keeping her focused on what she really wants to do. And sitting here today talking to her is really, I think she's going to be back to her normal self, and she was really quite a star coming up, you know, as far as last year, had some great runs. Look at the weather temperature here today. Track temperature is 59 degrees, air temperature is about 51 degrees. A little bit cloudy, but we talked about the wind earlier on today. It could be a factor for these guys, because yesterday when they finished their final practice, they didn't have a lot of wind. So today it could make a lot of difference as far as these cars coming off of turn 2.
The 65 cars had to move to the back of the pack. Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Steve, an early problem for Shauna Robinson. She had to give up her 13th starting spot. When the field began to roll off pit road, she could not roll off due to some radio problems. So finally, when they had that fixed, she decided just to hit pit road and top off her fuel. Fuel will be one of the key factors today. It has played a decision in the winter in the past. It very well could today as well.
All right, thanks, Matt. Let's take a look at today's race analysis. Actually, 40 cars starting today. Randall Ritter had to withdraw. Big purse for the ARCA drivers, $275,000. And let's talk about that pit window, Jeff Hammond, that Matt just talked about.
Yeah, we've seen here before in years past, for example, when Bobby Gerhart won here a year ago, he was able to pit relatively early, about lap 20, and then stretch his fuel mileage and keep his track position to hold on for the win. But I talked to Bobby earlier today about that same type of strategy. It's not out the window by no means, but with this new carburetor configuration, the guys are actually burning a little bit more fuel, so he's got to be a little bit more precise on his fuel computation today. So don't look for these guys to be stopping too soon trying to pull that same strategy today.
As the cars enter turn 4, we should remind you, no yellow line rule here, as we saw in the Winston Cup Series last year in February. If you go below it in Winston Cup, you're penalized.
Exactly right. These guys here got to use their head today. That's what a lot of these drivers are saying. Really want to see a lot of these young talents. We've got a lot of guys who've never run here at Daytona, so they've got to be on their toes. We'll see how the start comes down.
Pace car is off. The veteran Bobby Gerhart and young Billy Venturini are set to lead this field to the green flag, and the race is underway.
Steve, looks like we got a good clean start right now as Gerhart takes the lead and Venturini drops in behind him as we head into turn 1.
Billy Venturini's dad, Bill Venturini, a 2-time ARCA champion, holds the qualifying record here on this 2.5-mile super speedway. We're live on the Speed Channel. Hope you're enjoying early action here from Daytona.
That's what all these fans who come down here for, is to watch the start of these races right here. And get an opportunity today. Going to see a really good one. I can see right now everybody's getting in line like he should. Gerhart looks really strong as he goes off into turn 3, but Venturini's right with him.
Leaders come out of 4. Bobby Gearhart at number 5 leads the pack, followed by Billy Venturini in 25. Frank Kimmel to the bottom. There he is under that yellow line. He gets by the 91 of Christy Passmore, or does he, Jeff?
He's kind of hung right there right now. They're 3 wide as they go back into turn 1 in the middle of the pack right there. Everybody needs to get back in line here, settle down early on.
Andy Belmont in the 1 car. You saw him right behind Kimmel in the 46. That's Christy Passmore on the high side. Tight pack, very tightly bunched. As we said, Jeff, this is a very tight field. Renshaw on the 75 to the bottom of Hendrickson in the 17.
Start of the race is always kind of anxious. Everybody's trying to get in position. And as you can see early on, Bobby Gearhart, number 5, is starting to stretch away. But if you notice, right about middle ways back, Christian Fittipaldi, about the 7th or 8th car, Frank Kimmel in behind him, as well as Andy Belmont in the number 1. They're starting to get in line. That's what everybody else is going to need to do so they don't lose the lead pack.
Back up front, Gearhart in the 5 continues to lead. Venturini on the 25, the blue car on the outside. The car with the flames is young Chase Montgomery in the 27, followed by Jeremy Clements, another 18-year-older in the 3 car. Chase Montgomery, as we said, just said 18. He's actually 19 years old, from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. 3 wide. Dan Shaver in the 49, Tim Steele in the 16, 77 of Matt Hagan's on the bottom.
Man, he's slow down. I got contact right there, contact. Guys, settle down a little bit. Settle down. It's too early to be doing that.
Dan Shaver in the 49, 52 years old, lives in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Shaver right now has got himself in a bad position right there, Steve, getting bounced around. And being in the middle is not the best place to be. You get beat around pretty good. You can see him jumping around.
See that back end twitching. Greg Saxon, the 88, to the high side of Shaver. Andy Hillenberg in the 80, trouble.
Down the back straight, we've got a car around.
That's Hagan's in the 77.
Caution is out.
Caution out on lap 4.
Hagan didn't make any kind of contact with the inside wall, so he should be able to continue.
Gearhart.
He did hit a little bit harder than I thought he did, but he got some damage to the left front.
Sure did. Window net is down. That's his sign to everyone that he's okay. Gearhart maintains his lead back to the caution. They do not race back to the caution flag in the ARCA series. And Jeff, want to tell the fans this race will not end under caution. Let's take a look at the replay.
Hagan was down there real low on the inside right there, right alongside Schaefer. And all of a sudden, Schaefer moves down that little bit. Contact was made. Around he went. You see right there the roof flaps as they came up. Almost got it. You got part of the wall right there.
And that roof flap that Jeff talked about, as we look at the start of this incident, that red car, that Shaver, just nudges down into the 77. There's the roof flaps that Jeff talked about. Those help keep the car from getting upside down. See the concrete wall that used to be a grass berm. So we're under caution for the first time. Caution coming out on lap number 4. Bobby Gearhart, your leader, as Matt Hagan goes for a ride. He's okay, and we'll be right back. We're live at the Daytona International Speedway under caution. Fox and Speed's coverage of Daytona Speed Weeks continues tomorrow with the Goodies Dash Series. And then the Great American Race is the conclusion of 2003 Speed Weeks, Sunday, February 16th, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Take a look at some of the drivers who have moved on from ARCA to move into the Winston Cup Series. Some big names there, Jeff Hammond.
You got some future Daytona, former Daytona 500 winners, and Ernie Irvin and Benny Parsons and Michael Waltrip. So this series right here, it knows how to breed winners and champions.
Let's check in now with Dr. Dick Berggren.
Well, the radios have been very busy while this caution flag has waved, and Bobby Gerhardt's crew has been talking with Chase Montgomery's crew. They are going to attempt to hook up on this green flag and take off, leave the rest of the field behind. We'll see if they can do it.
Matt Yoakum?
Well, Steve, also during this caution, Jimmy Kitchens is a spotter for Billy Venturini. A lot of conversation back and forth. Billy was unhappy because he felt like they all had a deal struck before the race. And like Dick talked about, they were all going to hook up and pull away. And then the 27 made a move on the 25 of Venturini. And so Jimmy Kitchens said he would talk to the 27 spotter, who is Mike Kalanoff, who is Matt Kenseth's Winston Cup spotter.
All right, thanks, Matt. Chase Montgomery finished 4th in ARCA points last year. You just saw him in the 27 car. Chasing the 27. Jeff, we ought to take this opportunity to talk about the safer light system on the dashboards of these ARCA cars.
Yes, ARCA, at this race here starting here, they're going to start running what they call a race safe electronics dashboard deal. And it's located right there on the dash. And what that does is, in the event of the caution flag coming out, that light will light up. And all of a sudden the driver will not only hear from the spotter, but he will know immediately that there's caution on the racetrack. And this is an effort right now, once again, to help get the driver's attention sooner in case of an accident, so they can stay out of an accident. I think it's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
It's really going to work well, I think. And this thing's an opportunity right now for a lot of other divisions to maybe learn from it.
Pace car is off. Bobby Gerhardt in the 5 car is your leader. He won last year's event. Chase Montgomery behind him, and the green flag is displayed.
Tim still got a real good start right there, and he got by number 91 car, Christy Passmore, right there on that restart. She was caught sleeping right then. Veteran made a pass right there on the restart.
See, Chase Montgomery started to mention he's going to be running in the Busch Series for the Bruco Motorsports team this weekend. Gerhardt in the 5, continuing to lead. Billy Venturini in that 25, right behind the 27. Now, Andy Hillenberg, one of 2 drivers to have won this event in the 80 car, has made a dramatic move. Started 33rd, all the way up to 14th, Jeff.
Well, that there's what you know. Early on, I was watching him. He was really working the high side of the racetrack. His car looks like it's very stable up there. Again, he knows how to work this racetrack and knows what it takes. So watch for him to make a move up to the front. Those guys really want to know what's going on. Get behind him and follow him.
Andy Hillenberg is the president of a driving school, stock car racing school in Charlotte. He told me in Atlanta last year, half the field had graduated from his school.
Well, I happen to be one of these graduates.
Do you have a diploma?
Well, I got a degree.
Tight racing a little bit further back in the field. That blue car, Petty Blue, that's Christian Fittipaldi in the 43. Andy Belmont in the black 1. Tight pack of racing. There's Christy Passmore you saw in that orange and white number 91. She's just 20 years old, former World of Outlaws sprint car driver.
And Christian Fittipaldi is kind of like tuning up here in this race today for hopefully what's going to be a Daytona 500 start for him and Andy Petrie's Winston Cup ride later on this week.
That Petty Blue car that Fittipaldi is in, Kyle Petty drove that car in the Winston Cup Series last year. He's held his ground, started 7th, rides 7th right now with Andy Belmont behind him. Veteran Bob Strait in the 66 car is 9th behind Belmont. There's Kimmel in the 46. We said earlier, as he's alongside Steele, never won here at Daytona. Frank Kimmel in that 46 car has 4 ARCA championships. Jeff, he's won 20 races in the last 2 seasons.
Well, they've definitely got their act together. But I was talking to Frank earlier today, and they've had a lot of problems with the drivability of that race car, and he's not really been real happy with it. Actually, they were re-bump steering the car again this morning, trying to get it where Frank can be happy with it to be able to run this ARCA 200 race here today. And again, being comfortable around here, this is a handling racetrack, so you've got to be really careful that you don't have a car that's still handling.
And Jeff, look at Christy Passmore making her debut here in Daytona, running like a veteran, doing a good job.
Oh, she really is right there. She comes out of this
Tim Steele, side by side.
Right there. Ed Kennedy on the outside, 3 wide right there going off at turn 3.
Side by side, steal to the high side.
Kennedy backs off and gives way. And look who's taking advantage of it.
Hillenberg to the high side in that white number 80. Andy Hillenberg also testing IROC cars here at Daytona.
He's got a lot of seat time around here at Daytona. He knows what it takes to win, I'm telling you.
And Greg Sachs in that black 88 right behind Hillenberg. As you said, he won here the Firecracker 400 in 1985.
Don't be surprised if you don't see those 2 guys right there hook up and make their way back up here toward the front.
Jeff, let's check in with Dick Berger.
Well, Bob Strait, car number 66 in year 2000, finished 3rd in this event. In year 2001, he was 2nd. He is certainly a contender to win here today. And just a few moments ago, his crew erupted in applause when Strait came here for his test session. They had a vibration in the car, looked all over the car, couldn't find it, brought it back to Daytona. They have had the vibration in the car throughout practice since they got here. Last night, they realigned the transmission and the engine. The reason for the applause? Strait said the vibration is gone. He's good to go in car 66.
Back up front, Chase Montgomery to the high side in the 27. He had a thought of going for the lead there with Bobby Gerhart, but he tucks back in behind him.
Steve, one thing, I was talking to Billy Venturini yesterday afternoon. He was talking about, I have got a special race car. He was so elated about how well his car was running and everything. I said, well, can you go out there and take the lead and run away from him? He said, no. And he said, I guarantee you, if I can't win this race, I can definitely help whoever does win it win it.
3-car of Jeremy Clements in 4th. 12 laps complete here from Daytona. We'll be right back. We're back at the Daytona International Speedway. Under caution for the 2nd time today, the 06 car of Tim Turner backed hard into the wall. Do know the window net is down. We see Tim moving around inside the race car. Jeff Hammond, let's take a look at the replay.
It's going off there and turn. Look, cut a tire or something right there, because around it went. It just dove to the bottom of the racetrack. It's kind of hard to say what happened. But he did take a hard impact to the outside wall right there, but very quickly we saw the window net come down. Very fortunate or good driving on the part of number 34, Darrell Basham right there, because he just barely missed him.
Let's go on board with the 17 of A.J. Hendrickson. There's that caution light. The explanation I heard was it's 3 short flashes, then it stays on for 20 seconds. Safety workers attending to Tim Turner in that 06, who did a great job to qualify the car, making his debut at Daytona. And you're right, Jeff, that car just took a hard left down the banking.
It really makes me think that something broke on the race car, or it cut a tire down one, because of the way the car just turned real abruptly to the inside of the racetrack.
Under caution for the 2nd time today. Hope you're enjoying the race here at Daytona. We'll be right back to get it restarted. Still under caution for the 2nd time today. ARCA racing action here at the Daytona International Speedway. 77 hours of coverage continues. Speed News tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Budweiser Shootout tonight live on Fox at 8 p.m. NASCAR Victory Lane for a complete wrap-up of the shootout. All the other action here at Daytona, 10 p.m. Eastern on the Speed Channel. The 06 car of Tim Turner. Flat tire, end of a tough day for him, headed to the garage. Bobby Gerhart has led all 17 laps today, and we'll check in with Matt Yoakum.
Well, Steve, under that caution, Billy Venturini was telling his spotter Jimmy Kitchens how unhappy he was with the 3 car, because he pulled out and made a move so early, which then meant that those 2 cars lost the lead draft. The caution, though, does allow him to catch back up. He finished it off by saying, Jimmy, I know this is the first race that we've worked together. I'm not mad. I just get a little emotional, so please don't take it personally. Jeff, I think you've dealt with some drivers like that in the past, maybe?
Oh, absolutely, right there, Matt. And especially when you talk about Billy Venturini. He is a little firecracker when it comes to racing. He gets excited, but sometimes that's really good, because that means he cares about what's going on.
almost ready to go back to racing. Jeff Hammond will explain strategy and other things. Welcome back to Daytona. Dale Jarrett looking on as his son Jason Jarrett is driving the 67 car. Matt Yoakum has more on the Jarretts.
Well, Steve, how many times have we heard how information is so important to having a good run and a good day? And it's exactly what Dale Jarrett and Ned Jarrett, the 1- and 2-time Winston Cup Series champions, are doing on the radio for Jason Jarrett, the third-generation driver. They're telling him that there's a tailwind down the front stretch as we take the green, and there's a headwind down the back stretch. So keep in mind, if you want to make a move on someone, to do it off turn 4 when you've got the wind giving you a push down the front stretch.
And that's good advice coming from championship drivers such as Ned and Dale Jarrett. Bobby Gerhart continues to lead. Montgomery in the 27 right behind him, and Jeff looks side by side down the backstretch.
That right there is not going to be a good place for him to be. Everybody's lined up right there. We'll have to see exactly how strong Clements is now, since he is basically down on the low side and kind of hung out to dry.
Jeremy Clements in the 3 car, just 18 years old, from Spartanburg, South Carolina, has Ricky Pearson as his crew chief, son of David Pearson.
A man who knows how to win here at this racetrack right there for sure. So I think Ricky probably can help him out a lot, but if he doesn't get him back up on the line, he's going to find himself way behind.
Christy Passmore in the 91, Frank Kimmel underneath her in the 46. We mentioned Christy Passmore, just 20 years old, making her debut. She's in the 11th position, staying right with 4-time ARCA RE Series champion Frank Kimmel. Third place battle, the 04, Keith Seegers was alongside Billy Venturini, that 25. Andy Belmont in the 1 car, right in the middle of that battle.
He's getting ready to get himself in a bad way right now, but if you look in his rearview mirror, help's on the way. Christian Fittipaldi right there is closing up there on. If he just stayed in line, he could have pushed him on by, but right now he's getting ready to get past, probably on the inside by the 3 car of Clements if he's not careful. Jeremy Clements down underneath him right there for a second. He elected to jump back up there in line.
Christian Fittipaldi, the nephew of the great legendary driver Emerson Fittipaldi.
Even though he's got limited experience in big cars, I talked to some of the crew members right there, and he said his feedback is phenomenal. With the limited experience he has in these cars, he's able to come in and tell you so much about the race car, which is always a plus to a crew or crew chief.
Driven in Formula 1, kart. Doing a good job here in the track.
Definitely got a race in the back there, a 3 wide there once again.
Look at that, Jeff. 7 rows deep, side by side. Andy Belmont, you see him in the black number 1 car waving his hand. What's he saying there, Jeff?
I think he's trying to tell him right now, let's settle down a little bit, try to get in line here, see what's going to go on. It's a little bit too early to be going this hard.
Great racing action here on the high banks at 2.5-mile super speedway in Daytona, live on the Speed Channel. Greg Sachs in the 88, following Andy Hillenberg. And Hillenberg's got a lot of laps here. Not only has he won, but he's tested for other Winston Cup teams. Oh, Andy's a great little test pilot, like you alluded to earlier. He does a lot of work with Jason Norrie in the IROC series. He's got a good feel for a race car. He's really smooth, and that makes a lot of difference. On board with A.J. Hendrickson, one of the young ARCA drivers. Don't forget, later on tonight, the Budweiser Shootout live at 8 p.m. on Fox. Fastest of the fast, last year's pole winners in that race and former champions of the event. If you look back up front, Gerhart still continues to lead the way with Chase Montgomery and Billy Venturini. Those 3 guys have gotten in line here right now, and if they stay that way, it's going to make it real hard for those guys behind them racing side by side to catch them. Check in with Dick Berggren.
Well, Bobby Gerhart has led every lap of this race so far, and you might think with a car as good as the one he has today that it must be brand new, right out of a brand new shop. Not so. That automobile was taken, believe it or not, as a trade-in on a much better race car. Gerhart, a wheeler dealer in trucks and also race cars. It came all bent, needed a front clip. They went to work on it, got the car back together again, made it whole. He bought a chassis dyno and about wore it out over the the course of the winter, trying to make this race car as fast as it could possibly be. So from a wreck to the front of the field, they've done a great job for Bobby Gerhardt.
Well, that's a great story, Dick. As Jeff mentioned earlier, Bobby Gerhardt won this race a year ago. No driver has ever won back-to-back events at Daytona in the ARCA RE Series. 3 wide. Kimmel to the bottom in the 46, Fittipaldi in the 43, 20-year-old Christy Passmore in the 91 to the high side.
Oh, they're close right there coming off of turn 4 there. That's where you got to be really close, careful, because everything kind of closes up as you come in the short chute, and being the guy in the middle is not where you want to be. Getting bounced around like a ping pong ball right there when you get caught in the middle.
Fittipaldi listed in the 12th position. But that is changing as we speak, Jeff, because they come around and complete the next lap. 4 wide down the backstretch. Kimmel, the orange car in the 46, has never won here at Daytona. We're on board with him. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, Christy Passmore is turning in a very impressive performance today. This 20-year-old has come into Daytona for the very first time. She called this place breathtaking the first time she ever drove around it. She had never drafted until today. An amazing performance out there for a rookie with a new car with an Ernie Elliott engine under the hood. Andy Hillenberg has been her teacher. No surprise she's doing so well with as good guidance as Hillenberg provides.
You know, Dick, she told Jeff Hammond and I this morning that one of the biggest adjustments she had to running a stock car was learning how to get on and off pit road when time to pit.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people don't really think a lot about, but getting off the racetrack when you've been running excess of 180 miles an hour, getting into your pits, keeping your car running, and just getting inside that little pit box is quite a chore on its own. And she said that's one area she really had to focus in. She's very much impressed me so far.
Deborah Renshaw in the 75 car, running in the 26th position. Staying out of trouble, doing a good job.
Again, when we talked to her earlier today, she said, I want to see the green flag drop, and most importantly, I want to see the checkered flag drop today. So I think she's doing a really good job of just keeping her nose clean, getting her feet back, back under.
Shauna's done a good job. Shauna Robinson of coming from the back of the pack. There she is in that 65 car. She's up to the 21st position from dead last.
Yeah, she got up about as high as 13th, and she's also experienced a couple times making a few wrong moves, so she's been back and forth. But it seems like she's got a pretty competitive car.
Shauna had a great battle with Bobby Gerhardt here several years ago. Gerhardt got the better of her that day with the checkered flag. Shauna fighting her way back up through the field. Bobby Gerhardt continues as your leader here at Daytona. We're live on the Speed Channel. Shelby Howard sits at the bottom of turn 2, caution out for the 3rd time. Jeff Hammond, we have a replay.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go off there in turn 1 right there, and everything looks pretty good. But like he may have got a little bit of help from behind the number 58 car. Justin Ashburn right there, and round he went, and he caught the front nose right there. It's a shame because they were having a pretty good run. He made his way up from the back of the pack. Thought they had a pretty good car today.
And pit road is open for business, Jeff.
Yep, here they come. I don't believe anybody's going to stay out of this deal.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, the 25 of Billy Venturini pulls into his pit box. Some question about what they were going to do as far as no tires and just fuel, but his father, Bill, did say we're going to take on 4 tires. They were also questioning, Dick, what they could do on fuel, whether they can make it from here. They don't think they can. Dick?
Bobby Gerhardt, an interesting strategy, fuel only. Behind him, Chase Montgomery, taking 4 tires. Montgomery has Dale Jarrett's pit crew servicing that car, and he is in about the same position as Gerhardt. They told Gerhardt to go, go, go. Gerhardt's going to lead as the leader.
So caution for the 3rd time this afternoon. Shelby Howard in the 64, 17-year-old native of Indiana. Down into turn 1, as Jeff said, he may have got a little help from behind. He goes around Good news is he's okay, and we're coming back with more live from Daytona. Back at Daytona, here's our Gladiator Garage Works pit stop of the race. Bobby Gerhart, your leader. You see him right there to the right, that white car. His crew hard at work. Came in first, and Jeff Hammond, he left first.
He left first, but let's talk about some people who didn't have that kind of good fortune. For one, is number 3 car of Jeremy Clements. He came in, overshot the pits, had to back up, had trouble getting the lug nuts off, was 5th when he came in, came out 27th.
There's a race off pit road. Yep.
Bobby Gerhart,
5.
Chase Montgomery, Keith Seegers.
We'll go racing in 1 lap. We'll squeeze in a break here for your viewing enjoyment and return to the Daytona International Speedway. You're watching live on the Speed Channel.
Welcome back. We're getting ready to go green here. The green flag's up. We're underway here right now. Number 28.
Mike Buckley,
yeah, leads the way down into turn 1. And I don't believe he made a pit stop, did he?
Jeff, he actually pitted on the 2nd caution period. We've had 3 this afternoon on lap 5. He pitted on lap 5. 75 of Deborah Renshaw is on pit road. Down the backstretch, we see Renshaw.
Bobby Gerhart is trying to regain the lead right now, going in the middle of the back straightaway. Can't quite get position. Tried him low, now he's going to try him back high.
Let's check in with Dick Berger, who has more on Bobby Gerhart.
Well, Bobby's crew chief is his brother, Bill. I watched, and so many other teams took 2 tires or 4. You took none. Why?
Well, we came here in December, Dick, and tested that car hard in race mode. I mean, we ran a lot of laps. The more we ran it, we put 120 laps on the tires, and it kept getting faster and faster. Our plan was to come here, get this thing handling really good. And Bobby was going to make the call, and he came in the pits when we pitted and said, this thing couldn't handle any better. Let's just take fuel.
You got enough gas to go all the way?
Yeah, we got plenty.
Oh, boy, watch that number 5.
Yeah, he's famous for fuel strategy, Dick. And also, you see Tim Steele in the 16. He was penalized a lap for a safety violation on pit road. And we just mentioned Deborah Renshaw. She pitted outside of her box, also a 1-lap penalty. That's why she was on pit road. The High Plains drifter, Rick Corelli, on board with him. Started deep in the fields, 27th all the way up to 6th, a 4-time winner on the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Former Winston West driver, back up front, leaders all over the racetrack.
Well, it looked like that time right there, Steve, that Bobby Gerhart was trying to make a run on Tim Steele, who's trying to stay in front of Gerhart in case a caution comes out, but he definitely was mirror driving him. He was all over the racetrack. Wherever he went, he just pulled out in front of him.
Hey, Tim Steele in that 16 making a great comeback. He told me this week that he admitted that he was addicted to prescription painkillers. Jeff, he was injured badly in a practice crash in 1997. He had dominated the ARCA series. Bud Moore was on the verge of signing him to drive his Winston Cup car, had headaches so bad, he said he would spend 2 and 3 days in the bathroom with severe headaches, throwing up, was addicted to prescription painkillers, and it wasn't until last year that he was able to understand his problem. He told me, if one person is helped by me admitting this, then I've succeeded.
Well, it takes a pretty big man right there to be willing to say something like that on national television. I mean, I'm really impressed with that. And it looks like he's doing a pretty good job. Unfortunately, he got caught with a new rule this year. All the crew members have got to wear protective clothing as far as fire suits and helmets when they come over pit road. And they didn't do that. But we got a great race right now down the back straightaway. And if he can stay in front of Gerhart and catch a caution, he may be a factor today.
Three wide to the right of your screen. Buckley in the 28, 59. Mark Gibson, who's moved up through the pack.
Billy Venturiti down low. Racing hard. I think it's the end of the race right now, the way these guys are going at it.
Jeff, just to pay off the Tim Steele story, 1996 and 1997, he won 23 times on the ARCA circuit. Gerhart, number 5, your leader. He's led 34 laps today.
Right now, it looks like Rick Corelli and Chase Montgomery are going at it for second place pretty hard.
Chase Montgomery, the black car with the flames. He looks to the bottom of Gerhardt. Steele blocking, trying to get back or stay on the lead lap. Rick Corelli in the 05, Keith Seegers in the 04 on the bottom of the racetrack. There's Seegers in that yellow car, the gold car.
Bob Strait has now moved up to second place and made a good move right there over in turn 3, and he looks like he's trying to make a move for the lead.
Great racing at the front of the pack. 38 laps complete. They've run a very clean race, as competitive as this has been, Jeff Hammond.
Yes, it has. And right now, Gerhardt finally got to the outside of Tim Steele, and he's bringing Bob Strait along with him. But Chase Montgomery is pulled up behind Tim Steele. So see what they can do as they go back into turn 3 right there. They got to be back down in line. Billy Venturini on the top side right there. Looks like he's in about 5th place, 4th, 5th place.
Ron Cox in the 23 car, started 36th all the way up to 13th. Great story on Ron. He's from Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. He teaches masonry at a vocational school in his hometown from 7 in the morning till 2:30. Then he works on his race cars to 10 o'clock at night, has 2 little boys, 8 and 6, doing a great job in that 23 car.
Well, it pretty much tells me right now that when he comes to work on his race car, it's got to be easier than laying bricks.
Exactly. Back up front will be halfway. The next time they hit the start-finish line, they're on the back stretch, headed into 3. Bobby Gerhardt, your leader, has led twice for 36 times today.
Steve, I'm very impressed right now. What I've been watching here so far reminds me so much of a cup race. I think we're going to see a lot of this racing as far as the Winston Cup guys the rest of the week, but they're doing a great job out here right now. These guys are going side by side, 3 wide. I mean, just really racing hard. There's
great equipment in this race, Jeff. We mentioned that the field separated by just a 1.5 seconds from the pole to 34th position. There are some Winston Cup cars in this field. When NASCAR changed some of the rules, these cars became obsolete. They were bought by ARCA competitors. Good equipment.
A lot of good equipment out there. Several cars from, I know Robert Yates Racing's in the field. Some of the Roush cars are in it. So there's quite a few cars out there. I believe some of Ray Evernham's cars are even out there. So
Ken Schrader's Pontiacs also from last year. Good equipment.
Good equipment.
And they're putting on a great show. There they are, side by side, nose to tail, 8 rows deep. We're halfway. Bobby Gerhardt still your leader. Montgomery in the 27 right behind him, and then look at how deep it is. It's a freight train, Jeff Hammond.
Yes, it is, and everybody right now is really minding their P's and Q's. We got a couple guys looking down low. We're going to be three abreast. Oh, easy does it here. Greg Sachs just about got cut off right there as he came into the trial.
One thing we know about Greg Sachs, he'll put that hammer down. He's not afraid.
Remember we were talking to his crew chief earlier, Bobby Jones, and Bobby Jones has got a history as far as racing is concerned. He's been around a long time, and he and Greg Sachs worked together several times during each other's careers. And he said Greg is back, so it'd be really interesting to see how the day kind of pays off. He is planning on running, I believe they said, at least 7 more races and possibly going to some Winston Cup races later on.
Look at Sachs in that 88, the black car on the bottom, get a great run. He's underneath Andy Hillenberg in the 80. Hillenberg, a former champion of this series. Boy, I just don't know where to look, Jeff. There's
trying to keep my eyes open on everything. Everybody is just going at it tooth and nail right now, Steve.
8 days to the Daytona 500 on Fox. And I think we're looking at the Daytona 500, but this is the ARCA series.
Well, as we've seen it, already talked about earlier, out of this series, a lot of Winston Cup stars will come. So it's really it's a great series to kind of get tuned up in. We got a lot of young talent here.
And speaking of veteran talent, Greg Sachs, we mentioned he won here in 1985 with the old Dyegard Racing team. He made 258 Winston Cup starts.
He drove for me for a year, and he's really, I can say, a very aggressive driver. And Matt Yoakum, I believe you got some more on him.
Well, Greg says that Winston Cup plans are still in his future. In fact, with this team, they're hoping to run 4 Winston Cup races later in the year: Homestead, Indianapolis, Pocono, and even the July Daytona race.
All right, thanks, Matt. Looking at young Chase Montgomery in the 27 car, riding second to Bobby Gerhardt. Great racing here at the Daytona International Speedway. We're live on the Speed Channel. We'll be right back. "34 laps remaining. We've seen 3 wide action all day, Jeff Hammond. Look at some of the racing we've seen today.
It has been close and it has been furious, but it's been clean. Guys have done a great job today. Christian Fittipaldi has found himself in the middle more times than not. We have a caution. Believe it's for debris, but same time, still they're racing back right now. 3 wide, 3 wide.
Christian Fittipaldi, look, he's got donuts on the side of that car in the 43. He's been in the middle all day long, trying to keep his nose clean. As Jeff Hammond mentioned, caution on the racetrack for the 4th time this afternoon. Coming on lap 47. Debris on the racetrack in turn 3. Piece of metal on a racetrack, not good.
Not very good at all. You run over that piece of metal about 190 miles an hour and it will shred a tire and definitely put your car into the wall in your day. Man, talking about having a day. Now, Bobby Gerhart has been having a day. He has got a strong little hot rod there.
Pit road is closed. Caution for the 4th time this afternoon. Jeff said Bobby Gerhart has a hot rod. He's led twice for 44 of the 47 laps. Let's take a look at our earlier cautions. First caution, Dan Shaver in the 49 makes contact with Matt Higgins in the 77 down the backstretch. He's into the retaining wall, but he's okay. A little while later, the 06, Tim Turner, he backed into the wall. Back end goes away, but he gets out. Also fine. Third caution, the 64, 17-year-old Shelby Howard into the wall. Fortunately, he's okay. We'll be back for the final laps here in Daytona. Monday, your exclusive all-access garage pass returns with Totally NASCAR on Fox Sports Net. Totally NASCAR is your place to turn all season long for the latest news, highlights, and information on the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. Monday, we take a look at the body changes each car made this year, and you'll hear from the Daytona 500 pole winner. Totally NASCAR airs every weeknight at 6 p.m. beginning Monday only on Fox Sports Net. I love that show, Jeff Hammond.
So do I especially on Wednesdays.
Yes, when you're there in your various
That's
outfits.
exactly right.
Sometimes wearing biker gear.
Excuse you?
Under caution for the 4th time, let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, this really starts out as a question for Jeff Hammond. Jeff, have you ever gotten into a debate with your driver? The driver wants to stay out, but the crew chief wants him to come in?
Are you talking about Waltrip?
No comment, but that's the situation taking place here in the 25 pit of Billy Venturini. Billy wants to stay out. They are 4 laps short of making it on fuel. His father wants him to come in for a splash of fuel. Right now, they are debating back and forth. Young Billy wants to chance it. The senior member of the family doesn't want to. He wants to play it conservative. Dick?
Good story on Christy Passmore. She had started in the 9th position and wound up well in the back of the pack after her pit stop. They had trouble getting fuel into the car, a very long pit stop. She has now worked her way up to 16th position and continues to march forward. Meanwhile, the 27, Chase Montgomery, on this caution flag, was asked how he was doing. He said, "I am ready to win this race." He said the car runs a lot better when he is out in clean air. He is planning to try to hook up with the 66 Bob Straight and rocket to the front of the pack.
Hey, Dick, I talked to Chase Montgomery earlier this week, and I tell you what, there's a kid with determination. He just wants to drive race cars. He works at the team shop in Lebanon, Tennessee, and he says, "I'm there every day, whether it's to sweep the floors, put a decal on." They don't let him turn wrenches, Jeff Hammond, but he's there, so his crew sees him working every day.
I think that's real important. I really do. That you have a driver out there that's willing to come in there and work with you right now. And there's Deborah Renshaw bringing her car back in.
We mentioned she was a lap down. She was penalized for pitting outside of her pit box. 1 lap down in the 34th position.
Put on some left side tires and a can of gas, get her the rest of the way.
I should mention, Jeff Hammond, that Totally NASCAR, my favorite show, can also be seen on the Speed Channel Let's check in quickly with Matt Yoakum. Matty.
Well, they've decided to roll the dice down here in the Venturini pit. And finally, when he said, all right, do I pit or stay out? And Bill Sr. said, stay out, we're going to roll the dice. Then Billy said, you know what? You need to work on your crew chiefing skills. You need to tell me, yeah, we can make it, no problem whatsoever. We're going to go for it. And there's a lot of silence, but we'll see if he can make it as more ARCA Series action continues here on the Speed Channel.
Welcome back live to the Daytona International Speedway, watching on the Speed Channel, the 40th annual Advanced Discount Auto Parts 200. Steve Burns, Jeff Hammond, Dr. Dick Bergen, and Matt Yoakum, and the rest of the Speed Channel racing team here with you. 77 hours of Jeff Hammond at Daytona.
No.
Oh.
77 hours of Steve Burns at Daytona.
No. How about team coverage at Daytona?
I like that idea,
right.
the team. Remember, real men work in the pit.
That's exactly right. Pace car is off. 29 laps remaining. Bobby Gerhart has led 48 of 52 laps. Green flag. Tim Steele, the 16, to the bottom, trying to get a lap back.
Greg Sachs jumped to the outside right then in the 88 car, trying to get by number 17, A.J. Hendrickson. See how that kind of pays off for him if he can get a chance to move up here a little bit. Racing side by side is going to let those leaders get away from him again if we're not careful. Yeah, the 16 car's got a problem right there too, going in the back straightaway, Steve. I don't know what happened to him on that restart.
Tim Steele, former champion in the series. Meanwhile, Gerhart, you're looking back at 19-year-old Chase Montgomery from Mount Juliet, Tennessee. Determined young racer.
Trust me, right now he is going to school on Bobby Gerhart, trying to figure out how to get by him, how to set him up, and what it's going to take to get around him.
And for a 19-year-old, showing a lot of patience.
He really is. Driving a very smooth line, not been real erratic, just kind of been very patient all day long and not really forced the issue, but laps are starting to get away.
Jeff, watching him behind Gerhart, do you get the idea that he can get by him, that he's just trying to measure his move?
Well, it's kind of tough to say. I think he's going to have some help, and he may not be in the best position. Matter of fact, Bob Shack or Keith Seegers may be in the best position. If they go up there and start fighting, one of those cars may be able to get an opportunity to move the outside or inside, depending on which way the leader goes to put the block on.
Billy Venturini started on the outside of row one. Matt Yoakum has more on him.
Well, Steve, we had a father and son conversation and also the crew chief driver conversations. Bill Venturini timed his son going by, giving him the time. They're also talking about what to do if the 04 tries to hold him off. Maybe try to go around on the outside, telling Jimmy Kitchen to spotter. Well, Bill, a big debate. How close is it going to be after those caution laps?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Put me on the spot. We're rolling the dice. I put a new fuel cell in the car this year, and I haven't raced it, so I don't know if it's going to pick up all 22. Let's hope those fuel-safe people gave me a good sell here, but if we can pick up 22 gallons, about 21 and a half, we'll be okay. If I don't, we're in trouble.
Remember, he has never won an ARCA Series race. Young Billy Venturini, as we have a battle for the lead.
That's right, Matt. Chase Montgomery to the bottom of Bobby Gerhart, bringing Bob straight in the 66 with him. Chase Montgomery getting credit for leading that lap.
Steve, I want to point out something right now. Out of all those cars out there up toward the front, Bobby Gerhart is the only car that didn't change tires, and we're getting far enough into the run right now. Those tires may be giving up on him. He may be, got trouble right there.
Christy Passmore in the 91 into the wall. The 3-car of Jeremy Clements also into the wall. Caution out for the 5th time today with 25 laps remaining. Tough break for Christy Passmore. Young Jeremy Clements in the 3-car. Passmore, as we said, doing a great job making her debut here at Daytona. Chris Bingham in the 83, also involved in that incident. Let's take a look at the replays. Passmore, that orange car.
Oof. Looked like she got maybe just made the 83 car just a little bit loose going down in turn 1 right there, and he got away from him.
And she almost got hit again.
Good job of driving right there.
The 08 Bill Eversole also involved. Let's take a look at another angle, Jeff. Down into 1. Wow. Whoa. Bingham in the 83 making contact with Passmore. She has nowhere to go.
Couldn't quite tell who it was that came so close to hitting her in the door right there. He did a great job of not losing control of their car.
Great angle right there. See all the smoke? Now there's Passmore. I wonder if Passmore got the 83 loose, cutting across the back.
That's what I really believe happened.
Yeah.
It got him a little bit loose right there, and he lost control of it and came back up. And that right there was Robbie Benton, that did a great job of driving there to keep him hitting her.
Robbie Benton in the 82. The question is, Jeff Hammond, is anybody going to come to pit road?
If I'm leading this race, stay out. If I need to make an adjustment on my car to get to the front, yes.
There you have it.
Got enough time right there to get back up there, but if I'm the leader, or any of those lead cars right there, I don't give it up. This is actually going to play into probably Billy Venturini's hands to make it go a little bit further on his fuel situation. Now, you know, Bobby Gerhardt's the one that's got to make a decision here right now if this car is going away.
Jeff, let's check in with Dick Bergeron.
And I'm with Keith Bassett. He's Chase Montgomery's crew chief. We've been listening to you on the radio, and we heard you say to your driver, this is the sort of stuff of which dreams are made. How bad do you guys want to win this thing today?
I'll tell you what, I don't think there's anybody out here that wants it any worse than we do. We had one slip through our fingers at Talladega. We went back, we've worked on the car non-stop since Talladega, and right now things are looking okay.
At Talladega, they were leading, got run into behind. Let's go to Matt.
Dick, this caution is good news for Billy Venturini. They feel like they only need about 3 more laps of caution, and they will be able to make it all the way. Judging by the debris, they're probably going to get close to those 3 laps of caution at least.
See the 65 car, Shauna Robinson, being pushed up pit road right there. She called her crew and said, hey guys, I blew an engine, so her day will be done for sure.
Christy Passmore.
Yeah, further down pit road, they're working on her car, and they might be able to get it back out, but no, they're sitting there saying she doesn't have a deck lid or a rear spoiler. She can't go back on the racetrack, so they've got to do some work on that race car. Yeah, everything's kind of loose back there. You get everything tied down.
Another damaged race car on pit road here at Daytona. The 83, Chris Bingham, also involved in that incident. 23 laps to go, caution out. The 5th time we've had 22 laps of caution. 7 cars out of the race, average speed a little over 127 miles an hour, of course slowed by the caution flag. Can 19-year-old Chase Montgomery hang on for his first win? We'll find out when we return on the Speed Channel.
Oh, is he?
Back at Daytona, Orange, you glad you have that seat, Jeff Hammond?
I surely am. That looks a little bit uncomfortable.
How did they get up in that orange ball?
Man, they got to have a ladder or something. Come on.
Perched high atop the Speedway. What are they doing in that orange ball?
They're spotting.
How do you know those aren't radio boys?
How do you know they're not?
Oh. Meanwhile, back at the race, we've had a tremendous race here, the 40th annual Advanced Discount Auto Parts 200. Take a look at the cars involved in the most recent incident. Passmore, Bingham, Benton, Clements, and Bill Eversole. Let's take a look at it one more time, Jeff Hammond.
Yeah, like I said, we're going off down there in turn 1 and 2 right there. And it looks like Passmore got just a little bit close right there with Bingham. His car might be a little bit loose, and he got looser. Turned right back to the outside wall, collected her, along with Jeremy Clements. And it looked like Bill Eversole got part of it also.
And you know who just escaped that?
Yep.
Fittipaldi in the 43.
I'm surprised he didn't. I guarantee he felt it. I guarantee he felt it. I'm sure his spotters tell him, man, you don't realize how lucky you are. And you got some donuts right here you can see on the side of the car.
Hey, Hammond, did you tell me that Alice Cooper is here, the rock star?
Yeah, he is. And I understand that he's just announced a deal with our leader, Chase Montgomery, to sponsor his race car, as well as possibly move him up into some Busch races later on this year. So as you can see right there, Alice Cooper, Montgomery Racing.
Chase said he went to one of his concerts to meet him, and he said, oh my goodness, what have we gotten ourselves into? He went backstage to meet him, and he said, he's down to earth. He's a Sunday school teacher.
Exactly. But I got news for you right now. If Darrell was up here, he'd be real excited. That car's got flames on it.
Alice Cooper, also a scratch golfer. Did you know that, Jeff Hammond?
Yes, I did.
You did not.
Getting ready to go back green. This is what we really want to see right here. Is this restart here and see who can kind of like maybe gang up on our leader and see who's going to make another challenge to try to win this race, or can he hold everybody off?
21 laps remaining here at Daytona. 19-year-old Chase Montgomery at the point, followed by the veteran Bob Strait. Billy Venturini, the 25, with a great restart. Venturini rides third in the 25.
If they just don't go side by side too long right there, it may hurt him right there, coming back underneath him.
Keith Seegers in the 04 got below him. Venturini there in the 25. Seegers ahead in the gold car.
That was Rick Corelli right there trying to close up behind him.
Looks like we have one in trouble there on the back stretch.
Like he might have a flat tire the way the car's looking right now.
And that's Bobby Gerhart. Gerhart, who's led 51 laps on the bottom of the apron of the racetrack.
He's got a tire going down. It's a left rear tire right there. You can see it going down, a left rear tire. He never took tires, so he came back to bite him right there. Oh, we got trouble right in front of us.
Two cars involved.
See Justin Aspin's car.
58 car, Justin Ashburn.
This right here could be the break that Bobby Gerhart needed to be able to get down pit road and possibly get an opportunity to get these tires changed and not lose a lap.
Wow.
The other car involved right there was a 48 car. It looked like Aaron Call.
Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, Bill Gerhart, his brother, has just put his hand up in the air. Bobby Gerhart's brother, that is, and 4 fingers rose in the air. They're going to fire 4 fresh tires on that car. He just mouthed the word again to the crew. 4 tires coming for Gerhart if he can get that car here in one piece. Tire really going down. It's got to stay together, because if it starts to shred, starts to beat on the sheet metal, his day will be done.
Wow, Bobby Gerhart had a dominant race car here today, leading twice for 51 laps. Chase Montgomery has led 7 circuits. Mike Buckley in the 28, the only other leader, he led 3 laps.
Now, the one thing right there, Steve, as far as Gerhart's concerned, we're sitting here talking about the tire situation. Probably what happened to Bobby right there is, with all the accidents that have happened recently, he may have run over something on the racetrack and cut that tire down.
See, it's done some damage to that left rear quarter panel behind that left tire.
Yeah, but fortunately for him, at least it's on the left side and will probably not affect him as bad as it could if it had been the right rear.
Jason Jarrett in the 67 also involved in that skirmish. Let's take a look at the replay, Jeff.
You can tell from that angle right there, but it looked like something may have missed a gear.
See the 58, Justin Ashburn goes around.
See.
Oh, there's Bobby Gerhart's tire. He said there he is on pit road.
This crew's going to work. They got plenty of time. Let's get everything done right.
Dick Berggren.
Yeah, the crew has just changed their mind. Bill Gerhart is hollering at the crew one after another. Lefts only, lefts only. They've made the decision. They're not going to go with 4 after all. Not the fastest of pit stops, but it doesn't have to be. They got a good bit of time to work on this thing. They're going to work on the left rear corner of the car, try to get the sheet metal as good as they can possibly get it, and Gerhardt's gone. What a disappointment. I mean, he really had a great shot to win this race today. The reason that the car had dropped back, according to Bill Gerhardt, that left rear must have been going down. The car had gotten loose just before the tire went down.
Yeah, great point, Dick. And Jeff, my question to you is, with that damage to the left rear quarter panel, these cars are so aerodynamically dependent, can he be a factor?
Oh, yes, he can. They've got time right now. What they did, and the reason why they changed the left side tires first is so they could get the car back up to where he could get up to speed and get around the racetrack a little quicker. If they'd done rights and then lefts and got so far behind, he may have lost a lap. So they've got that fixed. He'll be able to close back around here, and I believe he'll have enough time to come back down, get right side tires, and still work on the damage on left rear quarter panel.
Aaron Call in the 48, the other driver involved in that incident, driving for the James Hilton.
Yeah, Aaron's a former sprint car champion from up in the Ohio area, and not got a lot of experience on super speedways, but he was doing a really good job.
A.J. Hendrickson on board with him, running in the 9th position. Under caution for the 6th time today. 17 laps remain to settle it. We'll be right back. $16 laps remaining to settle 40th Annual Advanced Discount Auto Parts 200 here at the Daytona International Speedway. We're live on the Speed Channel. 6th caution. We've had 28 laps of caution. Rick Corelli, the High Plains drifter, rides 4th right now.
Got 25 cars on the lead lap, and looking right there from inside of Frank Kimmel's car.
And we haven't called his name recently, but where's he riding, Jeff Hammond?
Hey,
6th.
up there in 6th place.
Let's check in with Dick Berggren.
Interesting spotter chatter with Chase Montgomery. We're listening in on him, and the spotter just said, "Hey, Chase," under this caution flag, "want to hear a story?" Chase said, "Sure." He said, "Once there was a young man at Daytona, 15 laps to go, and he won the big race at Daytona." Chase said, "Nice story."
I tell you right now, that's what a good crew chief does for a driver right there. He calms him down and tells him things he wants to hear. This is the right time and the right place, and hey, I love what that crew chief is doing right now, Steve.
He's never won in the ARCA RE Series. Chase Montgomery, 19 years old. Finished 4th in points last season in the series. He's got 5 top 5 finishes, 28 career starts, but never been to victory lane. And he's got 15 laps between he and that checkered flag. We'll be right back. We're back to Daytona, and I have no idea what that guy is pulling out of Lake Lloyd to the infield here at Daytona.
That's a fireworks barge. Don't you know what that is? That's for the night, man.
Oh.
We're going to be having sparks everywhere, fireworks everywhere. The greatest race of so far, man. This is going to be outstanding. The Bud Shootout's coming out tonight.
There they are, the Bud Shootout cars.
Right.
Gordon, Harvick, Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte. They're all the shootout at 8 p.m. Eastern, live on Fox later this evening. Now, what's he doing? Is he part of the fireworks?
I look like Chocolate Myers out there riding around. Look, he's lost. Some of our pit reporters were telling us it was starting to cool off a little bit out there. I think the track temperature's dropped about 4 or 5 degrees. So again, it's going to make these cars a little bit quicker and make them have a little bit different feel as we go later in the afternoon.
Lights have been turned on around the speedway. Bobby Gerhardt, boy, what a disappointing day for him. On board with him, the ARCA RE.
Look,
Cameron,
he had a bad break. I'll give you that. But it's not over with yet, baby. Look, he's still got some laps to go, and he knows how to get to the front, so just don't write him off quite yet.
A.J. Hendrickson, he's in the 9th position. Don't count him out either. On On board with Rick Corelli as we go green. Corelli rides fourth. Chase Montgomery is your leader, followed by the veteran Bob Strait, a winner of 16 ARCA RE/MAX events. Montgomery trying to nail down his first win. Keith Seegers in the 04 rides third. He won his first race a year ago at Talladega. Billy Venturini back there in that 25 has never won in the ARCA RE/MAX series.
Chase Montgomery got him a big jump right there, but I got news for you, Steve. That could come back to haunt him if those guys line up. When they catch him, they're going to have a full head of steam, and it could be the difference of whether or not they get by him or not.
Heading into turn 4, tight action at the front. Bobby Gerhart on board with him, trying to fight back. Gerhart listed in the 24th position. He's had a dominant race car, led 2 times for 51 laps, but 27, Chase Montgomery is your leader. The 66, the yellow car behind Montgomery, that's Bob Strait. Followed right behind by Billy Venturini and Seegers in the 04. Venturini's father, Bill, we heard from him on a pit road, a 2-time series champion in 1987 and 1991. On board with Frank Kimmel, he rides 5th. 4-time series champion, he's never won at Daytona.
Bobby Gerhart's continuing to move up. He's really working his car hard on the top side, and he's making a pretty strong run. If he can just get through traffic here pretty quick, he still may have a chance to make a good run out of the day. Chase Montgomery continues to lead as they go back down to turn 1 right there. He's running the low line as he goes into turn 1, trying to keep an idea on what Bob Shack's got in mind. I think he's trying to set him up, trying to get him in a position where he can make a good run on him down the back straightaway, I think.
On board with Gerhart, he's up to the 21st position. Just 11 laps remaining. Montgomery trying to nail down his first checkered flag. To your right, on board with Bobby Gerhart. To your left, the leaders. It's Montgomery, followed by Strait and Venturini. Ten laps to go for young Chase Montgomery. I don't think Bobby Gerhart's going to have enough time to get back to the front, Jeff.
No, nothing happens between now and the end of this race here. It'll be real difficult for him to run him down. But like I said earlier, don't count him out. Anything can happen here.
And just behind those lead 3, Seegers in that gold car. There's Frank Kimmel in the orange car, the number 46. He's followed by Rick Corelli, the High Plains drifter, former Winston West champion in the NASCAR series.
Now, if these 3 guys out front would like to settle it between themselves, they need to stay nose to tail and work together to get away from the rest of this pack. As they go to fighting, next thing you know, you're going to bring everybody right back up there with you.
There's the black car, Greg Sachs. He rides 7th. Trying to make a comeback. Love that sound, don't you?
Oh, it does. It gives me goosebumps every time.
Dick Berggren.
Chase Montgomery's spotter telling him, be smooth, stay on the bottom. A couple of laps ago, he said, don't let me catch you looking in that rearview mirror. Reminiscent of Buddy Baker, who years ago, with a few laps to go, when he was leading a race, used to take that rearview mirror and just push it with his hand so he couldn't even see out of that rearview mirror. Montgomery in the lead, watching out of the windshield rather than paying attention to Bob Strait, who is behind him.
That's really good advice right there, because you want to hit your marks. You definitely want to hit your marks. Gerhart continues to move up, but like you said earlier, he may be running out of laps. But we have a car right now. It's going kind of slow coming down into the pit area. Hopefully they can make it back. Otherwise, they'll have to throw a caution for him.
Andy Belmont in the 1 car. And it does not look like he's going to be able to make it back around. There he is, Andy Belmont.
Chase Montgomery continues to hold a really, really smooth wheel as we go around this 2.5 mile racetrack. I mean, he really looks good right now, and everybody just staying really nice aligned there. Still continue to pull away from Keith Seegers.
Caution has not come out, and Jeff, we need to remind the fans, this race will not end under caution. We'll see a green-white checkered finish. Caution is out. Chase Montgomery there in that 27. You see him waving his hand. That's his sign. The drivers behind him to slow down. One car of Andy Belmont sitting idle on the entrance to pit road. Seven laps remaining. Caution out. Under 10 laps to go, Jeff Hammond will see a single file restart.
Well, I think that right there will definitely help Bobby Gerhardt as far as his opportunity to try to make a move on these guys. If he gets a good restart, he may get into a top 10 finish here yet. So,
hey, speaking of which, we haven't mentioned Jeff Spraker's name. He's snuck into the top 10 in the 54 car.
Yes, Jeff Spraker, gentleman from Mooresville Way, and good friend of Darrell Walters. But guess who the crew chief is on that car today? Another veteran campaigner. From the history books, I should say.
Oh, I know. I saw a show on the Speed Channel that you narrated.
Yep.
Men Behind the Wrenches, David If.
David If, the veteran David If, is working on the 54 car. Glad to see him back. You know what David's doing right now? He's a manager of a dirt track there in South Carolina. Can't get away from that racing.
Pam Miller made you look like a star on that show, by the way, the producer of Men Behind the Wrenches.
Every time that lady has anything to do with me, she makes me look better. Can't say so much about you doing that for me, but I can't say that much about her. Thank you, Pam.
Hammond, I'm just here to make you look good.
Don't even go there. Let's go back to the front of this field right here. I mean, we're getting ready to have a great finish here. Great run by Jeff Spraker right there. Hopefully, Bill will finish it up that way. But don't count out guys like Frank Kimmel, Rick Corelli. They may have got snooker on that last restart, but don't look for that to happen this time.
Andy Hillenberg.
We're set up for a wild finish, I'm telling you. Great job also by the guy in the 11th place, number 43, Christian Fittipaldi.
And how badly does Frank Kimmel want it? Now here's a guy who's won, I believe, 43 ARCA RE races. He's never won at Daytona.
Like I say, this is really going to be an exciting finish right now. This is a quickie yellow, so anybody wants to come down pit road, whether you're a lap down or not a lap down, everybody can come on pit road this time and he come right back. So it works out. Saves us a few laps so we get back to green and have more racing.
I'm all for that. 5 laps to go. As Jeff said, this is going to be a shootout. Chase Montgomery trying to nail down his first win, followed by the veteran Bob Strait. Billy Venturini also has never won. He runs third. Keith Seegers in the 04. You've got young guys, you've got veterans.
Like I say, it's going to be exciting because one other thing we don't want to rule out here is how many guys have cut it too close on fuel. You know, we talked about Billy Venturini possibly or supposed to be inside that window, but what happens if he's not? That can make things kind of interesting. He's had a great run so far today.
25-year-old Billy Venturini. As we mentioned, his father, Bill, a 2-time series champion. And just in front of him, 53-year-old Bob Strait. There he is in the 66 car.
All right, and this next lap right when these guys get to 1 to go.
Yeah.
That's when crew chiefs and drivers are going to be trying to make their final preparations as far as who you're going with and which way you're going. So it'd be real interesting to see whether or not somebody like Frank Kimmel and Rick Corelli, how they work together. As you see right there, I think it's Bill Venturini along with David If right there. And Dick, I think you got some information on what's going on down here.
Yeah, you see Bill Venturini down in Bob Strait's pit, the 2 crew chiefs talking together. You can better believe that these 2 cars, 25, 66, Venturini and Strait, are going to work together once the green flag comes out. The only question will be whether it'll be the high side or the low side, but they're going to make a run on the lead.
You know, Dick brings up a good point, but every time they make deals, they break them.
Well, you got to kind of like start a deal, and then it kind of like once you agree to start it, doesn't mean you got to finish it.
Let's go to Matt Yoakum.
Well, Steve, they just told Billy Venturini the game plan at this juncture is to stay with the 66 for at least one lap, and then they will try to make the move. Billy feels like he's got an even better car than the 66. He may try to make his own move later, but right now, that's the game plan. But you know, game plans are easily changed.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Now, here we go again. Father and son having a difference of opinion about how we're going to do this. Bill Venturini's trying to make a deal to help his son out, and his son's trying to tell him, hey, that's not what I want to do already. So here we go again. Yep, kind of reminds me of me and Daryl.
See all those veterans sitting back there. Frank Kimmel is 5th. Rick Corelli is 6th. Greg Sachs trying to make a comeback is 7th. Andy Hillenberg is 8th.
I'd like to know what's on young Chase Montgomery's mind right now. I wonder if he's remembering that bedtime story he got told a little while ago.
I know one thing, he's going to throw the hammer down. I haven't met many racers, young guys, who just have that much desire.
Well, we talked about that earlier. He definitely has a desire to race and a desire to win. So situations kind of like this, can he close the deal?
That's it. Chase Montgomery's best finish in his career, 3rd at Nashville.
But I do like those flames on the front of it. Look quite racy.
The question is, will those flames cross the start-finish line first?
Or flame out.
Or flame out.
Well, my friend, we're going to know here pretty short. Pretty short. Field's coming through 3 and 4. We're getting ready to go back green.
In the immortal words of Ken Schrader, this could be big.
It has all the makings of a great finish.
4 laps left. Lights off atop the pace car. The pace car heads to pit road.
Oh, we got trouble already in the back. There's a little smoke to come out. Guys trying to check each other on this restart.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. Chase Montgomery, followed by Straight, Venturini, and Seegers.
Chase Montgomery got another really good restart right there. But I say this again, if those guys get lined up on him, it could hurt him if they catch him in the right place. Should make it where they're going to be faster and be able to get around him if he doesn't throw the big block on him.
All those cars behind Montgomery gathering momentum, and we're going to see how this high-stakes poker game plays out.
We got one group of cars trying to hunt the bottom of the racetrack and stay in line. Got a few of them back here further back. They're trying to go to the outside and pass Gerhardt's if I hide. He's coming. Bobby Gerhardt, early leader here. He's coming back up through the pack.
Bobby Gerhardt all the way back up into the top 15. Can 19-year-old Chase Montgomery hold off the veterans behind him?
Doing a great job right now. But Bob Straight's got a pretty good run up off of turn 2 right there with Billy Venturini right in behind him.
Billy Venturini also trying to nail down his first victory. It's Montgomery straight in the 66, Venturini in the 25, Seegers just behind them in the 04. Montgomery leads the field down off of turn 4, headed to the start-finish line. White flag is in the air. 2.5 miles between Chase Montgomery and the checkered flag. Single file, nose to tail, right behind him. Bob Strait in the 66, Venturini in the 25. Montgomery trying to seal the deal for his first career win. When do they have to make their move, Jeff?
I'd have been trying to make mine off of turn 2 if I'd been him. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Chase Montgomery has got a strong hot rod right there. Everybody's holding a straight line right now. Bobby Gerhardt went to the outside, back in the back. They're going to pick up a couple more positions before the end of the day, but not enough to win the race.
Here we go, Jeff. Coming down off 4, Montgomery with the lead.
Looking good.
Straight right behind him. And Chase Montgomery wins for the first time in 29 ARCA RE Max Series starts. The 19-year-old from Mount Juliet, Tennessee.
Oh, we got trouble right there going into turn 1 right there. Got a couple guys get together, got one car rounding in the wall.
Jason Jarrett in the 67.
Great
There's
job.
our winner, Chase Montgomery in the 27. Replay coming to see what happened to Jason Jarrett. Got hit from behind, it looks like, Jeff.
Yes, he did. It looked like somebody just was trying to make a statement for sure, and I'm not really, I don't want to say who it was yet, but I think I got an idea. Doesn't look very good.
Jason.
I think he's a little bit upset.
Chase Montgomery holding up that finger for his first career ARCA RE/MAX Series victory. And we'll meet, there's Alice Cooper. We'll meet him when we come back. Speed Channel's coverage of the ARCA Advanced Discount Auto Parts 200 from the Daytona International Speedway is brought to you by RE/MAX. Outstanding agents, outstanding results, and by Gladiator Garage Works. Gladiator Garage Works, official garage of ARCA, is proud to announce that the gladiator of the race is Chase Montgomery. It's time to rethink the garage with Gladiator. And Jeff, look at how Chase Montgomery celebrates his victory.
That's what happens when you're 19 years old. You can jump out of the race car, stand on the edge of it, not fall off and hurt yourself, and really enjoy that first one.
Let's go down to victory lane. Chase Montgomery about to receive his honors.
And Chase Montgomery, his new Alice Cooper fire suit, climbs out, a first-time ARCA Series winner. And what better place to do it than here at Daytona, the biggest race of the year. 19 years old, and holds on. He jumps into the mosh pit, and he holds off some of the biggest names of the sport. Chase, congratulations. What a big win.
We did it. We did it. These guys are the ones that did it. This is their race.
What were you thinking having all those guys in your mirror?
Oh, God, I don't know. I just put it on the floor and I never looked back. Oh, woo! This is awesome.
And talk about what a big association with Alice Cooper. Congratulations.
Oh, that's awesome. This is a way to kick it off. This is first race with him. Come here, Alice.
Come on in, Alice.
All right. Woo! We did it. We did it. This is the start of this team. We're going to win some more.
Well, you knew this kid had potential, but boy, what a way to come out of the box.
Unbelievable. I said, let him go. Just let him do it.
Well, how'd you get involved in this?
They just got in touch with me in Phoenix, and I said, anybody 19 years old that can hold 800 horsepower, let him go.
Well, what a way to pull off the big win right here at Daytona. First time ever. Today.
Howard Venturini, 26 years old, almost won that thing. What happened at the end?
Well, you know, the 27 and I were pretty much class of the field all day, and whoever we got with us, we just pushed around real quick. And I knew if I had help, I could beat him. If I didn't, I couldn't. And we knew that yesterday in happy hour. Me and him ran together, and I'm glad for Chase. He deserved it. We both we got 66 in between us, and I knew he had nothing to, you know, make any kind of move whatsoever. But hey, we're happy with the third.
Nice job today. Let's go back up to Steve Burns.
Well, Jeff Hammond, that was exciting, and Chase Montgomery was
he was
fired up.
He really was. He was great to watch right there. I love it when you see somebody right there have that kind of enthusiasm.
Christian Fittipaldi, good job finishing in the top 10 here in a Petty Dodge. A.J. Hendrickson just misses out on a top 10 finish. Ronnie Cox.
Oh, he did a great job also. And how about Robbie Benton missed that first wreck, got a chance to get by. And how about Deborah Renshaw? Got that finish she was looking for.
Hey, don't forget, coming up here this evening, stay tuned to the Speed Channel. Don't go anywhere. Speed News Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Budweiser Shootout on Fox at 8 p.m. Eastern. Get a full wrap-up on NASCAR Victory Lane at 10 p.m. Eastern. Great coverage from the Daytona International Speedway here on the Speed Channel. For Jeff Hammond, Matt Yoakum, Dr. Dick Berggren, and the entire Speed Channel Racing team, I'm Steve Burns. Thanks for being with us. Stay with us all week here at Daytona. Chase Montgomery, the winner here, the season opening race in the ARCA RE Series.